Ansari, thank you so much for coming to talk to me. You're doing great. I can tell you're like really holding it together after premiering your movie in Toronto last night.
I'm in interview trance.
Yeah, just switch the button on the back of
How
your
did I
neck.
come up with a movie? Where did the idea come from? What's Keanu like? No.
Do you want to interview yourself? You want to just like go through the rotation?
No, we were talking and having a great conversation.
No,
you're from South Carolina.
South Carolina,
which is so interesting.
yeah,
that's where I'm from.
I know, but you have a very LA story that you're telling here.
Yes.
You're a man of the world now.
I try to be. Yeah, I love to travel.
How was last night? I was at the premiere last night.
Oh, you were?
It was great watching you do the introduction with Keanu kind of like gazing upon you. Like he was so happy for you. I could tell just from his body language. And like it was clearly a big thing for you. Obviously it's a big moment premiering your movie, but like in front of a huge crowd like that, like you've done so much work as a director, been on TV, like an audience like that, like the famous Toronto audience, it seemed incredible.
Oh yeah, that was a dream. And it was surreal.
Yeah.
And it was fun to speak before the movie because that is more my that is more my comfort zone with crowds like that as a stand-up, you know.
Oh, of course, you're like you get to an audience and you're just like, okay, guys, I'm about to sell you.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
But the movie, it's a little bit like, okay, well, I can't change anything. Here we go. I hope you like it. And they laughed a lot, and it seemed like they enjoyed it.
So you stayed through the whole thing, and you got to hear the crowd reaction.
I didn't stay through the whole thing, but I kept peeking my head in during the fun scenes that I was excited to see play in front of that crowd.
Yeah.
And when we made the movie, when I went out and pitched it, I was always saying, hey, I want this to be a theatrical film and to really play in theaters. And that was almost like a supersized version because it wasn't like the normal theaters, like 200, 300 seats.
Yeah, sure.
That was, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 seats. It was surreal. So
yeah,
I mean that might be the biggest audience that sees a movie at one time. That was awesome.
That's true. I mean, I think the pitch process is always so interesting, and the thing that you hear all the time is like, oh, theatrical comedies, it's so hard to get them made.
Oh,
like
yeah.
everybody wants everything to go straight to streaming. You've had that experience, obviously. So going in there and saying, hey, I want to put a comedy in theaters, does everyone say like, keep dreaming, kid? Or like, how do you get them to say, okay, yes?
Well, I had Seth, and then I got Keanu, so that was a pretty good package. And I think Lionsgate really, from the get-go, really believed in the idea. And Adam Fogelson, who's the chairman there, he was always just very much. He just really believed in me and the idea, in a really touching way. So I appreciate their support, and hopefully we do a good job for them.
How long ago was it that you first started pitching this movie?
I can't remember when I started pitching it, but I started writing it during COVID.
Okay.
And pitching it, probably like 2-3 years ago, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
So was a feature directing project always something that you had in your mind that, or at least somewhere back in the way that you would do your own movie like this?
Yes. I did my series Master Nun on Netflix, and that was a training ground for me to do something like Good Fortune, a project where I would direct and write and act and produce, and so it was a challenge that I wanted to kind of take what I'd learned from Master Nun and do a film. And it's not as simple as a one-to-one as you think. You know, making a movie is a different assignment than a TV series. And but I learned so much, and I can't wait to do more movies. You know, I'm sitting here talking to you about Good Fortune, but Good Fortune for me, I finished it like a year ago. I mean, I locked it like end of last year.
You moved on. You got a whole other stuff going on.
I'm thinking about this other movie I got.
Yeah,
So my head's there, but you can't talk about it yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the audience thing though, with Master of None, like obviously it's got to claim people are watching it, people are responding to the show, but you're not seeing it happen in front of you. And like you said, as a stand-up, you're so used to audiences. So like, how does that change the way you write, the way you direct? Like knowing that the group experience is part of the appeal of this movie.
You know what's interesting is when we did Master Nun, we did screen the episodes in theaters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to kind of just see where jokes are landing.
Like a
and
test
things.
screening.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, just to see like, are these jokes hitting? Does this make sense to people? And that was always fun. It was fun to see the episodes on a big screen and see everyone laughing. That was always very cool. But for Good Fortune, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because as a stand-up, you you work on a joke and you do it every night, and you can refine and tweak and you can do it to no end.
Yeah.
But with a film, you don't have that many opportunities. I mean, you have opportunities in a different way in terms of like, you can do a table read and see how it feels.
Or you do like alts on the set. Like I don't know if that's how you work.
Or you look on the edit and you're like, let's try this. But in terms of like seeing how an audience reacts, you don't get that kind of feedback loop you have with stand up. But yeah, I last night it felt like it played like gangbusters. I had a great time watching it and felt really happy with how it was received.
Yeah, I think you should. I mean, Master of None was a show that looked really great. I think it like had like a standard for what streaming TV could do. This movie looks incredible, and I think literally as the movie was premiering last night, Adam Newport-Barra, who's the DP, was winning an Emmy for the studio.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
I think in real time.
Shout out to Adam.
Yeah, seriously. And I think a lot of people underestimate how good a comedy can look, and the studio's been a big part of it. The work that Adam's done there, but like clearly that was a real part of your vision on this. To like, you don't have to make it look bright and flat to make it look like a comedy.
Oh yeah, very well observed. And yes, again, thank you to Lionsgate for trusting me. And I when I was talking to Adam, we talked about Paris, Texas all the time, which is not the movie you think of when you're thinking of
not a laugh out loud comedy. I don't think.
Yeah, you're not thinking of that in terms of references for a visual style for a comedy like this. But if you watch Good Fortune and you think about Paris, Texas, you'll see where we were cribbing from that wonderful film in terms of like the greens and Adam he really delivered for me. He's a wonderful DP and worked so hard, and I was so happy to hear that he won an Emmy last night.
So did you meet him through Seth or the other way around?
Yes, Seth was like, you should meet this guy. Okay. First, I asked Naomi Aki, who is a wonderful actress that I work with on. She was in season 3, and she. I had lunch with her, and I was talking about DPs. I was like, who have you liked working with? She was like, my favorite is Adam Newport-Barra, and he had shot the movie she did with Zoe Kravitz, Blink Twice.
Yep.
It's called, and then I talked to Seth, and he mentioned Adam's name as, I got to find this guy. And then I had been thinking about these references I told you about Paris, Texas, and everything, and I saw that I saw some interview with Adam where he mentioned Robbie Mueller, who's the DP that shot that stuff, and I'm like, ooh, this is like
he speaks my language.
Yeah. And so we met, and he just really got the script and was excited about it, and just really understood what I was trying to do. You feel that when you hire people. You can feel when people are like, oh, they get what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, you had the Master of None experience, obviously, of building something, but when you're assembling a team for a movie like this, and you're kind of doing it for the first time, you talked about Seth and Keanu, but how does the rest of the team assembling happen? How do you say, you speak my language, I know what you want? Did you take things you had learned from Master of None to figure out how you wanted that to go and who you wanted to work with?
Well, what I learned from doing Master of None is find people that are understand what you're trying to do and creatively get you, but also vibe-wise get you in terms of just being a good hang and chill and wanting to have fun and having the right energy. And everybody we had on this film, our production designer Kaylee was there last night. She did such a wonderful job. Our costume designer April Napier. When we just started talking, she just she's just knows film so well, and immediately kind of brought me this idea of dressing Keanu's character in that trench coat and everything. I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is an interesting. It felt like a.
Was the trench coat like a nod to anything? It feel like it. Wings of Desire were going in there somewhere.
It was like we didn't want to do Wings of Desire because that was so iconic. Yeah. But she was talking about I think she was kind of thinking of like, well, what is that in L.A. And she was thinking about Columbo for some reason, which
of course,
weirdly plays into. Peter Falk being in Wings of Desire, ironically, and that was kind of how she landed on that. But her and Hunter, who works with her, they were awesome. Adam, we spoke about. I mean, everybody. Our group supervisor Ty, like just so amazing. You know, like really great at just capturing every little random improv. Hey Ty, what did they say? What did they say there? And, she said, okay, let's do that again. Try that. That kind of stuff. I got every piece fell into place for me.
Do you ever get the moments on set where you're like, I hired all these people to follow this thing that I wrote 2 years ago, and now someone's saying it out loud, and like 8 people are working to make it possible? Like, it's a crazy thing about making movies.
All the time. All the time. You can't believe that some silly idea you had, now everyone is working to make this a reality.
Like should the shirt be green or purple to pull off this joke? Like, who would have ever guessed that it would be reality?
Yeah. It's all surreal.
To ask about the LA part of it too, because like you talked about Paris, Texas, but the look of it captures LA in this really specific way, and not just like the beautiful glass house and the mansion, which is a big thing that we see in LA all the time, but like the taco trucks and the strip malls and all this stuff. And I think for anyone who lives there, who spent a lot of time there, it will feel really real, even though it's beautiful the way that you and Adam did it. So how did you want to capture the city in this movie?
Well, that was a fun challenge to kind of join the canon of films that are depicting LA. And you know what's an incredible movie? Was it LA Shoots Itself?
Yeah.
I watched that, and I watched a lot of the movies that's shown in that film, and Heat and Chinatown, and
I thought about Tangerine, the Sean Baker movie, a lot. Those parts of the city.
He's incredible. I love Sean Baker, and Tangerine is a beautiful portrait of LA, and a specific LA, and that was the goal, to try to craft a specific LA for this movie. Yeah. And I think we pulled it off. And again, another amazing piece, our location manager, Jay Trainer, he worked so hard for us. And we shot it exactly the way I wanted to in terms of where we were depicting LA.
Yeah. I mean, not to ask the where did the idea come from question, but it seems like it gets a very modern thing, and there's the references feel up to date up to the delivery robots, which I don't know if they existed when you started writing the script.
No, they did, and then I saw them. I was like, they existed, and I was like, we gotta put that in.
Yeah.
And
you voiced the robots? IMDb says you do.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You're the only person.
Look out, I'm coming through. Yeah.
You just have that deep in you.
I thought I changed my voice enough, but everybody immediately was like, you did that, right? I was like, yeah.
But did it come from you just living in LA, is being there, and just, I don't know, noticing something? I wondered if there was an anger that comes into it. I think there is this real, I don't know, polemic quality to it. We can change things. We don't have to live in this world. And I just wonder where your head was at as you were bringing all those things in there. Because it's obviously very funny, but there's clearly a lot on your mind putting the story together.
Yeah, well, the issues in the movie are all around us. And when you look at older films, films from 30s and 40s, the Ernest Lubitsch, Frank Capra, Preston Sturges, they would do movies about these issues, about wealth inequality and class, and often they were comedies. And the idea of taking that and putting it in today's context felt really fun.
Yeah.
I was telling someone, in those movies, if you watch, My Man Godfrey, the kind of wealthy people, they have, top hats, and they all kind of talk like this, and they're very silly, and it's like, okay, what's that today?
Now
that's Jeff in the cold plunge and the sauna. And
totally.
It's so funny to me that that's the evolution of that trope.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think early in the movie, you see shots of LA and you see shots of tents on the street. And I think that was a moment where I said, this isn't going to be a simple version of this. It's kind of looking right in the eye at a lot of these issues. And in a way that, again, it's still comedy, and you can still wish I had a sauna and a cold plunge, but you're not shying away from that stuff and without kind of ruining the tone of the movie. So I wonder how you kind of knew you could pull that off and wanted to pull that off.
I just had it in my head, knew I could do it. And that was the fun. When I started writing it at one point, I had a more dramatic version.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want to do this, man. I just been doing some dramatic stuff, and I was like, I want to be on set, I want to laugh. And then it's like, okay, well, how do you make this funny? And, it's like this guy sleeping in his car.
Yeah.
The main character is homeless. He's sleeping in his car. That is not funny. But, okay, maybe he calls his dad, and maybe his dad is as ridiculous as my dad.
Yeah,
and
is played by your dad in the movie.
And is played by my dad. And then, that is a fun challenge to me to figure out, okay, well, how can I not shy away from this, but make it funny? And the truth is, anybody, no matter what hardship you're going through in your life, I've dealt with some of the darkest things, death, and you're laughing. Something funny happens. And that's how you get through. And life is the greatest comedy writer.
Yeah.
It's the greatest writer, period. I will never be able to beat life in terms of writing. And there's always funny stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, then this can be done. You can do a movie about this stuff and make it funny.
Yep. You said in the intro that Keanu broke his knee while making the movie. What scene was it? Maybe it's a spoiler.
So it's not on camera.
Okay.
It was when he went into his green room. He went into his dressing room and he tripped on a rug.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it was the day we were filming the sauna and cold plunge.
I see.
And they'd put rugs down, and he tripped on a rug.
Oh man.
Yeah, but he's all healed.
I mean, does seem like kind of the worst case scenario as a director when one of your actors gets injured. But like, directing yourself in the middle of a big feature like this, obviously you've directed yourself before, but like, I don't know, what was new in terms of a challenge in making this happen as opposed to the work you did in Master of None?
Just working with the story that is an hour and 40 minutes versus a 30-minute episode within a season of television. They're just different. It's a different assignment. It's a different job to keep people's attention and to tell the story and figuring that out in the edit with my editor Daniel. It was a fun challenge to figure out how to keep the pace and not get people to kind of get bored and to kind of feel this momentum. A friend of mine always talks about narrative momentum with these films. Like, you're just kind of in this mood, like, oh, what's gonna happen next? And we got it there. I feel
like if you ask anybody about like audience attention and attention spans in general, they'd say like when Preston Sturges was making movies, people have way less of an attention span than they did back in the 30s. And I wonder if you feel like that's true having done a movie like this. Like, how do you think about audience attention? And when you're making a TV show, you got to get people not to look at their phone. And I guess in a movie theater you do too. But like, how do you think about what people can handle and how you can maybe get them to pay attention?
Well, look, when you talk about Preston Sturges, that has a very fast pace.
Oh, yeah.
But then there's other films like, if you're talking about a modern person watching like, Bellatar or Ozu, that might be a little different. But at the same time, before I worked on Master None Season 3, a big influence was Jean Diamant, the Chantal Akerman film. And a couple years later, that got voted the #1 film on Sight and Sound.
Sure did.
There's also, when slow cinema is done in a certain way, it kind of lulls you in. Which is what I tried to do when we did Season 3 of Master None. But yeah, there's probably there's also some people that are like, what the fuck is this?
And with the comedy,
what happened to Aziz and eating food, and now it's a lesbian drama, and the camera's never moving.
I mean, it was a stylistic choice.
It was pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you guys make that during COVID, or did it just come out during COVID? I'm trying to remember.
We made it during COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I think about that show, I immediately like come back into being in lockdown. It probably is the same thing for you.
No, I mean that I love that season, but that was a drama kind of project, and it was heavy, and that was another reason I was like, I want Good Fortune to be. I didn't have the name Good Fortune at the time, but I wanted this film to be comedic because I missed that energy of comedy on set and laughing and coming up with jokes and it's different being on set and being like, all right, cut that. It really felt like a miscarriage. That was great. It's heavy.
Great day on set.
Yeah, great job, everyone.
Well, I did wonder after that season if being more behind the camera was something you wanted to do because you were just as a director on that, but obviously with Good Fortune you want to go back in front of it. How are you feeling about performing versus making stuff, or always doing them together, or anything else?
I like them both, but I think because I'd done that season of Master None and I shot half of that Bill Murray movie, I was ready to kind of be the main guy. There's something about like, if I'm the main guy, I have control of that much more, and I know I'm
with like the tone and like the
just everything. It's like, I'm gonna show up when I need me to show up. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I don't need to worry about is Aziz gonna drop out of the movie? No, I'm in.
You could really screw yourself over.
Yeah. We just lost Aziz. He's doing something else. Wait, what? How? That doesn't happen.
I mean, getting your start like making like online shorts, like in the two, like is there that kind of like I can all do it all myself? Like you may as well just throw everyone in front of the camera. There's a DIY thing to it. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, Seth and I were talking about this once, and he does a similar thing on the studio, and there's something streamlined about being, the writer, the director, the actor. You can really like see through a vision to, a very specific degree.
Yeah.
But there's also something exciting about, you have people like Seth and Keanu, and you have an idea of what they're going to do, and they do something different that surprises you and makes it incredible. And I had that experience with Naomi and Lena on the Master None season, and with Bill Murray on the Being Mortal stuff we shot. There's also a huge delight in giving a script to one of these unbelievable actors and seeing what it makes them do.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about being Myrtle, like going through that kind of bruising experience, but then Good Fortune gets to come exist. I guess I have this kind of premiere. Like, how optimistic are you feeling about the process of getting movies made these days? You feel like we're in a decent place for more stuff getting made that's good?
You know, Seth said this the other day, and I think he's right. It's like, all it takes is one movie. One movie does something, and then everyone's like, oh, this is,
Yeah.
You know, he said when they were writing the studio, it was like, oh, movies are over and what's going to happen. And then the whole Barbenheimer thing happened, and that completely changed everyone's perception. You know, I mean, things can change. You know, people have these predictions, and then all of a sudden it's like, Glenn Powell! Oh, shit, Glenn Powell! Oh, shit! Yeah, there's no more movie stars. Oh,
Now we got Glenn Powell!
Yeah, you know, like, that can happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, but look, I'm not going to... The premise of your question is totally valid. You know, the idea of original films, comedies, theatrical, that's all it's slim pickings.
Yeah.
And I feel very lucky that we were able to sneak this one in, and I hope it does well. I mean, I think it's definitely an underdog kind of movie, and if we just can wedge our way in a little bit, hopefully we can get some more original films and comedies. And you know, I'm really heartened by what I've seen in the box office recently, whether it's Naked Gun or Weapons, which I really
was thinking
enjoyed.
about One of Them Days with Keke
One of Them
Palmer.
Days, yeah,
It's
Keke
so
as
funny.
well,
It did well. Like,
yes.
and it's
they're
kind
doing
of
a sequel. Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, look, time and time again, if you look at what the film fans are saying, they're saying they want these kind of ideas and stuff, and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
You know, like the excitement for something like Weapons, and I hope Good Fortune can excite that audience, and because I think they'd love the movie and have a great time.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for coming to talk about it.
Hey,
thank you for everybody
thanks.
for watching this.